kill him. I'll deal with the children.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Electric Jack, man. I'm just plugging in for Seven Deadly Sins, chapter 345, guys. We are almost at the end. Can't believe it's been a long journey following this, so it's going to be fun to explore what we do after this. But I promise you guys, Electric Jack channel will not be ending. So please make sure you subscribe and share this new channel, guys. We're going to try to do everything properly, so they can't even take us down, even if they try next time. So, guys, without further ado, let's kind of get into this chapter. And, we're pretty much wrapping the story up. And it looks like we're going to have a happy ending so far. So, the chapter starts off about 18 months later, actually. And it's just showing kind of a recap of some of the characters. We see Death Pierce and Slater. Or actually, no, sorry, not Death Pierce and Slater. We get them later. We see Slater and Meliodas, who has grown his hair out. Looks like, but we're first, we don't exactly know what's Meliodas. We just see Slater saying we've completed our mission, exterminating the wild worm and the bandits at Pyramus. And then so the person says, Slater, are there no more challenging missions we can do? And he's like, what? You want to take on demons again? And he's like, well, maybe not that challenging. And so, he's like, as long as I can serve His Royal Highness to the best of my abilities, I wish for nothing more. He's like, and then the person quips, hey, by His Royal Highness, you mean the current king, ? And at that point, Slater, Slater gives him a look, and he says, Meliodas says, sorry. He said, as far as I'm concerned, the only Royal Highness is Baltra-sama. And we see Meliodas with his long hair saying, he's like, you said it. And so, Meliodas is now the current king of Leonis, along with Elizabeth being the queen. And so, we cut back to, Leonis, and we see Slater training Gia and Jericho. And, he says, a fly could land on your swords, they're so slow. And there's like, not to, throw you off track in your words, but, there's a bug has landed on your head. And we see the little fairy kid that's, I don't really know his name, but he's the fairy, little kid with the blonde hair that always shows up. And then, it's huge. He's like, I ain't no bug. All right, so he has brought a message for Jericho. And at that point, Jericho yells out, seriously, Bond and Elaine are, big question mark. And so she runs off and tells, she tells Hauser, he's like, Chief Holy Knight, sir, I've got something to take care of in the Fairy King's forest, so if you'll please excuse me. And he's like, wait, something to take care of, what's going on? And so he's like, what the heck, she doesn't treat me with much deference, for being Chief Holy Knight. And Gia says, I think that's what makes you so wonderful. And he's like, that's not really a compliment, but so then we cut to Death Pierce, and we see them, and he's like, is it true that you've quit your post as Holy Knight? He's like, it's something I've been meaning to do for a while now, for a long time. And then what are you gonna do now that you're done, that you're out? And he's like, I'm leaving Leonis. And so the rest of his Holy Knight squad is shocked. He's like, and I'm returning to my hometown of Edinburgh. We all remember from the past, Edinburgh was a city that was taken over by vampires, and where 7 Deadly Sins were dispatched before the current events of our story happened. And so he's like, he plans on spending the remainder of his life devoting himself to the restoration of his kingdom. And there's like, but why so suddenly? Is that your only reason for leaving? He's like, I'm sure you guys haven't forgotten the monster that killed Denzel Sama, and the one who brainwashed and manipulated us. He's like, I have no obligation to a kingdom in a country that has made a demon and a goddess that's king and queen. That is true, Meliodas and Elizabeth. He's like, I will build a country for humans and humans alone, and farewell, he bids them. And so then we cut to Dreyfus and Dreyfus and Hindi, and they are rattling around, carrying. Looks like they're moving around a bunch of stuff. And apparently, it seems like Hindi's setting up a potion shop. And so we also see that Hindi is also, they're back to their good old relationship, and they're also Dreyfus is also, I guess, the sword instructor. So Dreyfus is the sword instructor of the kingdom, and Hindy's opening a potion school or a potion shop. And so he warns him not to neglect his patients and getting so caught up, because we all know he is a druid, and they have affinity for magics and potions. And he's like, Hindy says he wants to help people any way he can. And Leonis, they say Leonis' bright future is ahead. It's a bright one indeed. And it's not only are the new king and queen established, but the next ruler already decided as well, or pretty much decided. And so it's like, and Hindy's potion school, of course, will serve the people, even if it loses money. And add to that, a fine sword instructor to coach all the next generation of holy knights. So we cut to King Bartra, and we see him holding toys. And as we see all Elizabeth's sisters and the princess, we see also Gil Thunder, who we haven't seen in a very long time. And so we see also Greenamore, and he's with Veronica. And that's another character who we also haven't seen in a very long time. We also have Margaret as well, and she's, not possessed by Rudicell anymore. And so, everyone's like, don't rob this old man of his fun. He's like, you're getting way into this, father. And then also, Margaret and, Gil Thunder want to spend some time together because they, he said they've been away for a while, so they like to spend some alone time together. And, Veronica says she wants to be more lovey-dovey with Greenamore. And so, Bartra, is like, then I'll just keep looking for toys, for my grandchild to my heart's content. And they're like, that's not very helpful for Ellie. Besides, they still don't even know whether it's a girl or a boy yet. So, why are you getting all these toys? He's like, but of course, I already know, thanks to my vision. Remember, that has magical power. He can, pretty much see into the future what is to come. And so it's possible to say that he foresaw this future, maybe, possibly. Unless it was changed, who knows. So we cut to the Fairy King Forest, and looks like the fairies are spying on Bon and Elaine. And they say, you got still spying on them? And, what the heck's going on in there? It's like, this will be the first time a human and a fairy have conceived. He's like, little brother, look at what a peaceful place the world has become at this time. Of course, he's speaking to, the former commandment and former, fairy king of the forest, Gloxenia. And we see, Bon and Elaine, who are with child. Well, Elaine is laying in bed. It's like, it moved again. And then Bon says, was it a punch or a kick? And she's like, I can't tell the feet apart from the hands just yet. He's like, but it's odd. Even though fairies are born from flowers and, trees, my child with you is going from the inside. Of course, it's going to be, half fairy, half human. He's like, by the way, Bon, what should we name our baby? And Bon quips, he smiles. He's like, I've already decided. And so, guys, we are who are very familiar with Arthurian legend. You guys already know where this is going. And so we cut back to the kingdom of Leonis, and they say, they'll never forget Zeldris and Gilda's face when they were last here. And so, they're, all the Zeldris fan who thought that Nakaba had abandoned Zeldris. He's still around. He's still here. He's like, and how they said a child being born between a demon and a goddess has never been heard of before. This is the first time. So all the theories about Zeldris and Meliodas being half demon, and because everybody saw the goddess symbol on Zeldris' sword, that is now null and void officially, right there for you. And Elizabeth quips, granted, I am half human as well at the moment. And so Meliodas is sitting there thinking, and Elizabeth is like, Meliodas, what's going on? She's like, are you still trying to figure out what to name the baby? And of course, we see Elizabeth is with child as well. And then at that moment, he claps his hand. He's like, and she's like, what is it? He's like, that's it. I've made up my mind. And at that point, guys, another people who have speculated this, big fans and big knowledge guys of Arthurian legend, Tristan is the name that Meliodas decides on. Of course, in Arthurian legend, Meliodas is the father of Tristan. And at that point, we see Bon, and of course, those who know of Sir Bon and Arthurian legend, Lancelot is what the name he decides upon. And so then we have a kind of starting the forming of the Knights of the Round Table. And at that moment, Elizabeth looks down and says, Tristan, may you have a wonderful future ahead of you. And Meliodas looks on, he's like, well. He's looking out the window, and that's where it ends. He's like, I wonder what future lies ahead. Where we end. So I don't know if this. I believe there's going to be one last chapter out. I think, but this might be the end. I think this might be the last chapter, guys. With this end shot of the Kingdom of Leonis, and just I wonder what kind of future awaits. I think this might be the last chapter, guys. So, of course, like I said, it's been a fun ride. I don't know if we'll get any epilogue chapters. We might, of course. If we do, I'll be there to cover them as well. But guys, it's been it's been a hell of a ride. And keep following the channel. We got more content coming, guys. And there you have it. Nanatsu no Tazai, the 7 Deadly Sins, guys. Let me know, guys, what you think about the chapter. I will be doing a series review, definitely, of the entire series and what I thought as a whole of the series. And some of my favorite parts and tidbits. But about the chapter, I think it was a great ending. About a great ending as what I would have liked to have seen from it. I do like this ending a lot, especially with kind of mentioning and the forming of the Knights of the Round Table of Arthurian legend. I do really like that. I think that's really cool how they blended Arthurian legend with Christian elements and other elements from other religions such as Buddhism and Hinduism and things like that. So it's been really cool. It's been really cool, and I do think that the final villains, especially with Kath, and some of those were rather rushed and unnecessary and didn't really make much sense to the story. But I do like how we see, in this shot on the cover of the chapter, we see a hand touching, a baby hand touching a bigger one. So I do hope that we, possibly see an epilogue chapter or one more or something. But of course, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys for listening, and those of you who have followed me from the channel and all the channels that have been canceled, guys. We thank you and love you guys. And for right now, guys, your boy Electric Jack, I'm unplugging, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.